Hey there viewers, welcome back to the Self-Made Auto Channel. Working on the 2009, it's the Suzuki, it's the SX4. It's got the big 2.0 in it. It's got 100 and some odd thousand miles on it and the money lights on. Got the scan tool plugged in, got that baby booting up, hood's up, vehicle's on the lift. And I'm pretty sure it's got an EVAP leak because I have an abnormally large nose and I can smell it. Something smells like gas fumes in here, so that's what I'm guessing. So let's have a look and see what we can find. Okay, she's done scanning here, and we have, my big schnoz doesn't lie, 456, so a small EVAP, very small EVAP. I tell you, it smells very big because the car stinks like gas. I could smell gas when I got in it. Bunch of history codes, and then the immobilizer keyless system has a PO456. Sometimes aftermarket scan tools on these Suzukis is pretty hit or miss. So let's see here, what do we have for active tests? Okay, we can open and close the vent valve, purge valve, okay. I think these are similar to GM. Let's hop into some live data. I don't know what we have as far as like fuel tank pressure. We have pump cut, tank level. Okay, let's, I don't know what the acronyms and stuff they use, but let's try EVAP. Vent valve, duty cycle, okay. I wonder what they use for pressure sensing. We may have to just go through them here. EVAP. Fuel tank level. Leak check. Pump. We might have to look to see how this thing works, but with a purge and a vent, I would assume we would have some sort of pressure sensor. It may not be displayed in this data on this tool. Okay, at any rate, let's go back into our active tests. Let's go for our vent valve. Let's just see if we hear it, I guess, first and foremost. Let's see, lock the wheels, do all that stuff. Okay. Check the vehicle. What do we got to have it running? Maybe I should have read the fine print. Apply parking brake, block wheels, check safety, fuel pump, vehicle stopped, engine stopped. Diagnostic code currently faulty but not confirmed. Okay, so let's pop back out of here and clear the code. 456, everybody remember that. Let's go back to active tests. Vent valve, execute. I think I hear some clicking behind me. It's hard to tell. Yeah, I think I hear something clicking back there, but I can't tell for sure. Okay, well, it appears that we have the ability to control it. Okay, I hear that. I can hear that. We can hear the purge solenoid. Hopefully you guys can. Usually you can hear me breathing for some odd reason. Okay, so we can hear the purge, so that's good. Vent we need to confirm, and then just find out where our leak is, I guess. Easy peasy. Take a quick toot under the hood here. Try not to fiddle with stuff. Be not tempted to touch everything, gas caps and stuff like that. So I see we've got two lines coming up here. Looks like this here looks like probably the fuel line. SS, so that's the fuel, so I'm assuming this one is EVAP. Coming in, it goes down and around. Must be the purge valve, must be on the back of the intake here or something. Yeah, it feels like it goes up here somewhere to a purge valve. Okay, let's go have a gander underneath, see how rotted this car is, and we'll kind of take it from there. Not gonna fall on us, right? I don't think so. Let's see, where did our lines come through there? Okay, so our lines come here. Got your classic connection there. Lines go back. Got your classic, looks like metal tank. Usually these Suzukis are lost cause because you can't get any parts for them anyways, so it doesn't really matter. What do we have back here? Is that some kind of leak detection pump? Let's have a look and see. Maybe it's not a purge and seal type system. That's why we don't have a pressure sensor. Yeah, so we've got a lot of wires running into this. Oops, sorry. Sorry about that, fella. Didn't mean to hit you. And then that comes up. What do we have here? Okay, so it must be the fresh air side. This must be the filter. I'm not getting big whiffs of gas under here. Of course, we can see some wet staining there on the filler neck. Let's see if I can set the light down here. That looks just like, that's just paint peeling off. Let's see if this smells like gas. Paint or Flex Seal or something that smells like gas. Oh yeah, that reeks like gas. Whew, okay. Yeah, she stank. Yeah, this is just paint or some kind of stuff they've cobbled on there. Yeah, that reeks like gas. Of course, we can see gas staining here. Looks like they might have a big rot hole through that filler neck. Let's have a look at that here. Like I say, these cars are almost a lost cause to work on. Haven't been able to get parts for Suzuki's in many a moons. Oops, I'm gonna have to use the stranger here. Hold on. You got some huge pimples right there. Yeah, it really reeks like gas right here, big time. Okay, well, that's something worthy to note anyways. It's really, really rotted out there. I don't feel my pick dropping right through it anyways, but okay, so we'll keep that in mind. Let's see how the EVAP system on this thing works, but it looks like it's definitely going to need a filler neck. I think somebody already knows about that. But yeah, that's really stinky. Let's see how this thing works and then see if we can't put the Avoca smoke on it. Yeah, lines are looking pretty gross there. You know, no quick connects are coming undone, I'll tell you that. And then that purge, because we're gonna have to get to it in order to smoke it. Let me see if I can find it here for us. So I thought before we looked, I would come back here and listen. So let's have a listen. I'm gonna turn this on and off. So I open and close the vent valve. You can hear a mechanism in there moving, so that's good. Now I'm gonna take a look just to see what it uses for leak detection. Looking at service data here, it appears to have a leak detection pump back there inside the canister. So we're gonna have a couple wires that go to the electric motor, the actual vacuum pump back there. It allows it to run an EVAP test with the key off, basically is what these systems do. We're gonna have another couple wires going to a vent valve. So that should be a standard valve to, you know, seal off the system like we think. We're gonna have 3 wires going back to a pressure sensor back there. So the system does have a pressure sensor, but we didn't see it on scan data. But I'm looking through service data and it's kind of interesting. It appears that perhaps it'll be listed under barometric pressure. So typically a car, most automakers, you know, key on engine off, they'll do a comparison for some redundancy. They'll look at the map sensor, you know, a boost sensor. Some of them, like Hondas, have a baro pressure sensor built into the ECM. Well, it looks like this one, perhaps, unless I'm reading it wrong, uses the fuel tank pressure sensor vented to atmosphere to detect barometric pressure. Now, whether or not it uses that for a fueling strategy, you know, maybe it uses some redundancy from looking at the map sensor also. I don't know that for a fact, but that's what it looked like here, that it was using the pressure sensor back there to check barometric pressure. Yeah, here we go. EVAP leak, check pressure sensor voltage output for initial barometric pressure. And then it gives it here. So I don't know how, if in the scan tool, because right here it looks like it would be about 3.5 volts of atmospheric pressure from 0 to 2,000 feet is, you know, rough average of 3.5 volts. And that's about where we're at here. We're just about 2,000 feet of elevation, just under. So that's what I would expect to see. So we can look at our barometric pressure perhaps, but what I think we just need to do is seal it off. I think we're gonna find an actual leak and perhaps not a failed EVAP pump. But if we seal the system off and we don't find a leak, then we're gonna have to investigate it further. Is the leak detection pump itself functioning? I assume it is. It has the ability to check for a very small leak, so I'm assuming it's functioning. I'm assuming the pressure sensor back there is working. Some of their terminology is pretty interesting. It says to connect a spherical pneumatic plastic bag with the approximate diameter and volume of a sphere of 1 liter. That's fancy terminology for hook up a balloon. Okay, that's the purge valve right there. Okay, I can see it actually. Well, I tell you what, it might be easier to unhook the hose right here. Let's take that clamp off. Let me get a different pair of pliers, see if I can get that wiggle. If we can slide that hose off, then we'll be in good shape. Come on, baby. There we go. So that hose is off. Guess I can leave that. Now we'll take the clamp off. Take the clamp off, we'll set it there. Set this here. We're gonna hook up the Avoca smoker right there. Come on, baby. There we go. I think that's in far enough. Negative, positive. Let's get an air hose. It's gurgling away. We should be making smoke. I'm gonna let it kind of fill up the system. When we see it rolling puffs back there, we will seal it off. So she's rolling smoke back here pretty good. I'm not certain that the vent valve is closing, so I want to be sure that I am. So we're going to unhook the fresh air side of it here where it vents to the atmosphere. Make sure there's no smoke coming out of this, or if there is, we can at least tell if the vent valve is functioning. These things can be a real pain to get unhooked. Just gotta get the latches to trip here. There we go. Okay, we've got a lot of smoke coming out of that. Let me grab my scan tool. Hopefully you guys can see it. Shouldn't be any smoke coming out of here because I have the valve closed. So we can see there's smoke. I'm gonna open it. So now you can see it flowing really fast. I'm going to close it. And the flow is reduced but not stopped. So that's one problem. Let's see. Let me see if I can dim my light. Perhaps you guys can get a better view of that. I just want to see if you can see the intensity change here. Let's go like that. Okay, so you see the smoke coming out of it right now. The vent valve is technically closed. I'm going to open it. And there, I just opened it. So you see how it increases with intensity? And I'm going to close it. But we can see that we still have smoke leaking past our valve. So we know we have a bad canister vent valve. So that's a problem. Let's plug this off. I'll get a rubber cap or something. We'll plug that off. And then we'll see if there's a leak anywhere else. The smoke machine just shut off. So that's why you're seeing that, you know, stop smoking now. But let me get something to plug that off with. Smoke machine is back on. Got my little selection of rubber caps here. See if we can find one first try. Oh yeah, first try, look at that. Now we're gonna let the system fill up with smoke. Clear some of this out of here and see if there's any other leak in the system, you know, before we tell the lady, hey, you need a vent valve and it's obsolete and everything's rotted, can't change it anyways. But before we do that, let's see if there's any other leaks. Like Swiss cheese, man. Put that baby back where it was. I think before we even go any further, let's just check for parts availability for this thing. Oh, come on, piss pot. Need a little bit of lube here. There, beautiful. All right, folks, time to be a jerk. Fuel filler neck, obsolete from Suzuki. I gave them a call with the VIN and got the OEM part number for it, for this car. Did some Google searching You can find Suzuki SX4 fuel filler necks, but I couldn't find the exact part number that this car requires, at least easily. I did find, like, you know, it brings up the generic searches like, you know, Suzuki Parts Warehouse, whatever, in stock, you know, that exact number. You call them and of course it's the same thing. They're ordering from the same warehouses that our Suzuki dealer is, so of course, you know, they're obsolete, can't get it. You go on the flea bay, they have Suzuki SX4 fuel filler necks, but not the same part number that we need for this car per the VIN. So I'm not gonna go down this whole rabbit hole of ordering all these fuel filler necks off the internet, paying shipping to send them back, they're all wrong. It's not something I can get involved with as a business owner. The EVAP canister is readily available. That's, you know, you can get that aftermarket. The things that I see that are gonna cause problems though are the bracket that holds the canister on. You know, I can just poke my finger through it. You just touch it, the thing crumbles. So it's gonna need a new one of those, and that's what holds the whole canister up in there. So if we told this person like, yeah, we can change the canister, as soon as we take that off, you know, besides all the bolts are gonna break off in the body, that whole bracket's gonna crumble, and then what do you have? You're way worse shape than when the thing rolled in. I hate saying it, but something like this, I would just, you know, wash my hands of, walk away from. I don't wanna deal with it. I've dealt with older Suzukis and EVAP systems, and all the parts are always obsolete. You get one you think is right, and it's kind of right, but it's mostly wrong. So, like I say, from a business owner's perspective, I've just got to wash my hands of it and say, here's what you need. You need a canister, and you need a fuel filler neck. And then explain to them the potential problems that will arise. And that's all. I know you guys are going to think I'm a jerk for doing that, but I'm like Kenny and the gambler. I know when to hold them and I know when to fold them. So I'm gonna fold them, and that's it. So why don't you guys fold up some paper and throw it away, and then go in that comment section, leave a question, a comment, concern. Find us on the Insta, the Facebook. You guys know what to do. Just remember, viewers, if I can do it, you can do it. Mostly I didn't really do much, but hey, you get the idea. Thanks for watching.